Welcome back to Talking Shop, the Old Testament edition. We are on Proper 24. This year it is the 19th Sunday after Pentecost in Genesis chapter 32, verses 22 through 30. Bob, will you give us the 10-second pitch as to why we should preach the Old Testament this week?
I think this is an excellent text to preach on because here we have somebody wrestling with God, receiving mercy even though they're a sinner, and learning that there's a blessing in the suffering, which gets us to Christ. And so I think that this is a great text.
Amen. Let's get after it.
Okay. In every way, yet I'm still welcome in the arms of the King.
Welcome back to Talking Shop, the Old Testament edition. We are in Genesis chapter 32. Bob, would you help us get our bearings and give us some context around Genesis 32? What's going on? Where are we at?
Jacob has finally run out of places to hide for all of his scheming and grabbing. He has taken from his brother Esau and ran away. Now he's taken from his uncle Laban and he's run away. And now God confronts him. And it's a really powerful moment because he finally learns what the true blessing is in life. And that's something that only God can give to him, but it won't look like the blessings that he'd been spending his whole life trying to nab from everybody else. And so it's a great text. It's wonderful to preach on, and it's got some really deep theology.
Good. Let's get into the text. So starting at verse 22. The same night, Jacob arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. What have we got so far?
Well, Jacob is just come from a place of confrontation. And so now at this point, thus far he's been with kind of his whole entourage and group, but now he's just all by himself.
Yeah.
And you think at this point, he thinks at this point perhaps he's free of conflict, but now God shows up and grabs him.
Yeah. And he's still concerned about all the blessings that he has, right? I mean, So he sends them across the river because he'd be like, I don't want all my possessions and my people to be ruined.
Yeah.
You know, and he's planning to meet up with Esau, who he's pretty sure is going to give him what he deserves.
Yeah.
But here we meet a God who meets up with him and gives him what he doesn't deserve, which is a new identity, a new way of living in relationship with him. It's really fascinating.
It is.
Yeah. What do you see, Adam?
I don't know yet.
Okay, that's fair. You need a little something more to grab onto?
Yeah, and I'm not a coffee drinker, but maybe I need some more caffeine this morning.
Okay, all right.
25. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed."
I think something that's really important if you're preaching on this, and I hope you are, is that there was no way God was ever going to be defeated.
No.
You know, and if you've ever had the experience of wrestling with a niece or a nephew, you know, and you're letting them go to town, but there was never a moment that you were going to be overcome by them, you know, and this is actually mercy from God. He allows himself to be wrestled with, and he allows himself to be prevailed upon, which is, you know, what the crucifixion was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He allows himself to be taken down. And so this is an extraordinary mercy of God.
Yeah, isn't there almost a little bit of the sense that the only way to win against God is to lose?
That's really well said. That's really well said. Yeah.
And this is something Lewis picks up on in Mere Christianity, where he says, when you're arguing with God, there actually is no winning, because if you win the argument, you've lost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And so in this sense, God, the victory that Jacob secures is actually that he gets defeated. He puts his hip out of socket, or it went numb on him.
Yeah.
He couldn't. He was done.
Yeah, I think to me that's a very profound thing, and it's tied together with the theology of the cross. That he kept on begging for a blessing, and God's like, "Fine, I'll give you a blessing." Now, in Jacob's mind, up in the narrative all the way up to this point, Jacob knew what a blessing was, something that benefited him.
Yeah.
One wife gets you some sons, but more wives will get you more sons.
Yeah.
And you're good at animal husbandry, but could be better. I could get more flocks. You know what I mean? And so he's just been constantly plagued his whole life and being a theologian of glory.
Yeah.
And here God says, I'm going to teach you what a real blessing is. And it comes with pain, and it comes with a dislocated hip. And anybody who's dealt with, and you probably have people in your parish who deal with chronic pain, it's a new way of thinking about it, is the blessing that he received was a constant reminder that he submits to God. Every time he took a step, he remembered the blessing that he wrestled with God, and God had mercy on him and let him live.
Yeah.
And in losing, he won. And so I think that can be a very profound connection for your hearers. I mean, we all ask God to deliver us from these crosses that we bear. God wants to teach us to be grateful for those crosses.
Structurally, that might be a really fun way to deal with this. Is to
Go ahead.
And you can track this down, and you can take it into the thorn in the flesh kind of situation too.
Yeah.
So, as if Jacob didn't need more physical reminders of what it was all about. I mean, as an Israelite, as a son of Abraham, he bears in his flesh already a physical manifestation of the covenant with God.
Yeah.
That is, not to get graphic with your hearer.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that he has 11 children, and should have been a reminder to him the entire time.
Yeah.
Where all these blessings are coming from. It should be an antidote to that theology of glory.
Yeah.
And now he gets yet another one.
Yeah.
In his limp. So he already bears in his body the marks of the covenant with God.
Oh, that's good.
And so it leads them eventually to a point where he's actually reborn here.
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
So he's getting the new name.
Yeah.
He's getting another midsection marking that he belongs to God.
Okay.
And this is where the whole thing comes about, because he's come out wrestling.
Oh, he is.
From the start, he's clinging to his brother's heel.
Yeah.
He's a brawler and a scrapper from the start.
That's what I like about him.
But God's actually got to put him in his place.
Fascinating.
And he's reborn now, even after all the things that have happened in his life. Now he's actually new again.
Well, and when you're saying that, it reminds me what Paul compares circumcision to baptism. And here he is, beside the Jabbok.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So and
there it is.
Sacraments.
I was going to jump on the midsection markings
Oh?
and the crucifixion and water and blood coming out. And that was going to be my jump to the sacrament.
Well, it's a double.
But there's a lot of ways to get there.
there's a
And because that's what it is, though. And how often in our suffering are we just thinking of it to be something to be rid of?
Yeah.
Because that would be nice to be rid of chronic pain and suffering. And,
Not a bad prayer.
it's not. It's just, but that sometimes in the perspective of faith, it can actually be used as a reminder of our dependence on God for all things.
What's that song? Don't know what you got till it's gone. And so you don't want to learn that lesson too late.
Yep.
Is that okay to say that? way?
That's exactly part of it. And so I think with Jacob and with our hearer especially, not to jump there too fast, but
No.
this idea is that it's like the jars of clay, not the cheesy band, but the...
the second Corinthians?
Yeah, this is fragile. Life is very fragile.
Yeah.
And at times, our afflictions remind us that we are completely dependent on God's goodness. Not about our strivings, not about our effort, because that's what Jacob had spent the previous section of his life doing, is trying to make something of himself.
Yeah.
In reality, it is God who makes you into anything. And when God makes you into something, sometimes he's got to pin you down flat first.
Yeah.
This is Luther. When God makes alive, he does so by killing. When he exalts someone, he does so by first bringing them low.
Boy, it doesn't feel like that in the moment, though.
No.
When you're being humbled.
Yep.
It's rough.
Right. And at this point, the second person of the Holy Trinity is slamming him to the ground and holding him there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Malak Yahweh. Yeah, at some point he realizes it's the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point.
Clearly, because a man wrestled with him, and then he says, you've wrestled against God and prevailed.
Peniel, yeah, the name of the place.
And he calls the place Peniel.
Yeah.
And in the Septuagint, they call it the face of God, or the form of God.
The form of God. Yeah. Oh, and you made that Paul connection to Philippians 2, and I think it's in Colossians 1 as well. He is the
He is the image of the invisible God.
The icon.
Yeah, what is the Septuagint calls it? Eidos, Theou.
Ooh, that is the form.
Yeah.
Wow.
The form and appearance of God.
Yeah.
It's almost as if Paul is wanting you to remember that the guy who showed up there is the one who's crucified, risen again.
Yeah.
We just got back from pastor's conference in our district, and one of the presentations got us talking about what is it that we're doing in preaching, and are we using language and words the same way that Scripture does? And so we got to talking about Nafziger's preaching as world building, and how our hearers have been catechized into a world that's a lie, and that our preaching is bringing them into and building in a reality, the real world that's not a lie. And I think this theology of the cross, theology of the glory, is one of the, for lack of a better way to say it, the symptoms of that. And that the world that most of us have lived in, we are trying to get rid of pain and suffering. But in reality, God works through those things.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get rid of them in our world, right? Not realizing that God has a purpose for them. We might not understand it at this point, but those things ultimately, like we've been talking about, lead us to greater dependence and greater trust in the triune God. And ultimately, right, when we have minor ailments, point us to Christ crucified, right? And that's where our salvation is. And so I think that there's a route there through preaching as world building, and hey, this is how you've operated most of your life, but the reality that Scripture talks about, this is how it works.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's really good. Walter Brueggemann does a lot of this, and he says that the prophets, their words create the reality. And so they're speaking this reality into existence, and I think that there's something to that.
Yeah.
All of creation came into being through speaking.
Right.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, good.
Yeah. It's very Heidelberg disputation stuff.
Oh,
for us, the theology of the glory, theology of the cross. And for the viewer, if you're not from one of those Lutheran backgrounds that deals with that, this is the concept, is that life is not actually perceived through all the highs and mountaintops. It's perceived through suffering and the cross.
And go to the 1517 YouTube channel and check out one of the previous Here We Still Stand conferences, where the whole topic was the Heidelberg Disputation and Theology of the Cross.
Absolutely, and that's a good one.
Great shameless plug for 1517.
It's not shameless. They put hard work into this.
Yeah,
stuff,
they
do.
Yeah. Good. All right, what's the rest of the text?
Verse 29, then Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. But he said, why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered.
Yeah, there's that more of that grace and that mercy in the text. I mean, God allowed him to wrestle with him, to fight with him, to see him. There's just so much mercy there. That's it reminds me of that scene in Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, where Aslan allows himself to be, tied down and killed. You know what I mean? Which is what the crucifixion was. You know what I mean? Jesus reminds us of that at his own trial when he says, hey, if I needed the help, I could call on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is something else is going on here. So just do your job, buddy.
Yeah.
And that's my translation of the Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Exactly right.
I think of all of the other times where mere humans, mere sinners encounter God and how they're blown away, right? Moses comes down the mountain and they're like, "You're glowing. You're too bright. Will you please put a veil on?
Yeah.
Will you go get your beekeeper suit and veil yourself?
Yeah.
Because you are too bright from just being in the presence."
Yeah.
Or, right, the Mount of Transfiguration.
Yeah, Mount
seeing
Tabor, yeah.
Jesus glowing.
Yeah.
But Jacob here wrestled with God, sees God face to face, and goes about his business. And how the other times they're impacted, but that really truly is a, hey, I allowed you to wrestle me.
Yeah.
And you came out not dead. So consider that grace, right?
That's really just what you said there is really profound. I mean, it's pretty audacious of Jacob to keep going. When he realizes who he's wrestling, it's pretty, he's got a lot of chutzpah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I think about, it's pretty audacious for us to come to Jesus, and ask for forgiveness while he's suffering. And, he's doing that for us. I mean, that we should approach God, and that's what it would take. It's pretty audacious.
Yeah.
And he loves to be caught in this way. It's kind of a Luther comment on this.
Yeah.
Dealing with the Syrophoenician woman.
Yes.
That should the dog eat the children's bread?
Yeah.
And he said, he's putting it out there for you to catch him in this way.
Yeah.
He hides in places for you to find him and grab hold of him. He wrestles with you so that you can, not so that you can win over him, but so that you will take hold of him.
Okay, so I think the gospel lesson for this one, isn't it the persistent woman?
Parable of persistent widow.
Yeah, the persistent widow. And it's pretty interesting, Jesus compares this to, listen, that's what a bad guy will do when he's bugged.
Yeah.
Now imagine a good God, when you come to him. So there is something in that when God allowing himself to be caught in this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a neat connection.
Because you can't surprise him.
Yeah.
Sometimes things that look like judgment or affliction are actually blessing.
Yeah, well said. And I think he is being iterative here. Bless me, bless me, bless me. He wasn't just like a one-off. He was wrestling all through the night, and he kept on demanding.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not the Berenstein Bears get the gimmies, because the blessing is going to be different. It's not going to be what he's been accumulating so far.
Okay, this is a strange aside. You said Berenstein Bears. Were they? They used to be the Bernstein Bears?
That's what they call a Mandela effect.
Oh,
I'm too freaked
that is
out.
A fun YouTube
I'm too freaked
rabbit
out
hole.
to weigh in on it.
all right.
But I remember them feeling really guilty.
Yeah.
Reading that book.
Yeah. Okay, that's funny.
But he's been trying to accumulate stuff. But the blessing is completely different than what the natural man is actually seeking after.
Yeah, it's having God.
Also a countercultural world building opportunity there. And you ask God for blessings. And what you mean is most of the time stuff.
Yeah.
And God blesses you with not stuff, but something so much greater. And so God gives you oftentimes not what you're expecting, but what you need.
Yeah.
And what is ultimately for your good.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's right.
And I think those of us who are parents get a glimpse of that with our own children.
Yeah.
And that they want sugar and candy to eat. And you're like, how about you eat some chicken? How about you have some vegetables?
Yeah.
But not necessarily what you want, but it is what you need.
Like, I want you to be happy, but that's not number one on the priority list.
Right.
Need you to survive this
Yeah.
thing. Okay, good. I think
This is great.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. If you would like and subscribe on YouTube, share this video with another preacher. Go check out all of the great resources at 1517.org. And God bless your preaching.